Today's Chokeslam Wrestling Report, we are going to be speaking to no other than Jat Santy from the Turnbuckle Tabloid. That we're going to do an AEW World's End review. We're going to be talking about the Chris Jericho alleged accusation of, sexual misconduct, if we could say that. And we're going to talk a little bit about Mercedes Mone. We're going to be talking about that and much more on the Chokeslam Wrestling Report.
Is the moment we've all been waiting for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Welcome to another episode of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report, and I got my boy, Mr. Jat Santy himself from the Turnbuckle Tabloid. What is up, and Happy New Year and all that good stuff. Best way to start or end the year with you as my guest. What's going on?
Thanks again for having me on. Yo, you inspired me, bro. Ever since you got with those intros and that outro shit, I went and made one myself. I said, "Fuck that! I'm gonna do my own shit." And
speaking about intro, you're gonna see the shit I'm gonna drop off next week. That somebody just made a new intro for my stuff. So
you see, you're doing too much now. You're doing way too much because now I gotta chase. Now I'm in the chase.
You ain't gotta chase, bro. I'm still chasing you, man. Just talk about. So anyway, yeah. Right now, I just as soon as I got on and I did the introduction, I just saw something here from a podcaster called BC Amplified talking about AJ Lee may show up at WWE. What do you think about that?
It was inevitable. It's time, and it kind of coincides with what is also the news story that's going around with possible the Mone talks have basically torn apart. They haven't come to an agreement, so I could see something in that in those lines and those cards of that. But you'll get to it when you want to talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about AEW World's End now. I'm not gonna go through the whole damn event. I just want to talk to most of the stuff that I thought that could have been a little bit better. For one, I don't know if you saw the 0 hour with
yes.
Willow versus Stanlander.
Mm-hmm.
Now, tell me that I know I must have not been bugging out, but I know that they fucked up that finish.
Yeah. It was botched. It didn't look clean.
And they looked like they were not like zinc when it came to wrestling each other last night.
Well, it's kind of tough because being the opening match, or they put so much pressure on themselves to do that, especially for them being women. They want to go out there and showcase their stuff and prove the naysayers wrong, especially when they had 3 women's matches on the card. So that was like shocking. But I can see their pressure for that. But other than that finish, I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was anything that was gonna tear down the house. But they did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, the match wasn't bad. I just felt like she couldn't even pick her up to do the finish, but she tried like twice. And I was scared that she might drop on her head and whatnot. So now the 20-man battle royal. Did you think? For one, even though Killswitch won that, it kind of affected the way the Christian Cage match with Copeland ended. Do you see like a big storyline coming out of that between probably a feud between Christian Cage and Killswitch?
It's typical wrestling formula storytelling. I thought that maybe they would have probably held off on it down the line and not had done it so quickly. I thought maybe they would have probably let Copeland hold the belt for a little while longer until they turn the tables on him. But it's also they they had to sit there and give reason to why this chase has to go on, and then now we have to also add a little bit more of dissension within the family. So the match itself was actually really good. It was a really cool match. I wouldn't expect any less from these two vets, but it was just a silly finish, and I thought it was just uncalled for. Once you saw Kill Switch win the Battle Royal, you was like, okay, something fishy's gonna be coming down the line.
But what's funny is because to me, I saw Kill Switch win that. I said, okay, so I already had Christian Cage winning the match, some way of interference, some crazy stuff, whatever, and the way it ended, I mean, and I was like, oh wow, I was like, wait a minute, Copeland beat, Christian Cage, and that means that then I put 1 and 2 together, and I said, well, Killswitch just won the damn contract. Now, since when AEW does a contract where you go do it at any time, anywhere? Since when?
That, and you could just give it to anybody you want. You could just hand over you could just hand over your contract to somebody else and let them.
Yeah. That's another stupid thing. I didn't understand that. I mean, and not for nothing, but I felt like the Christian Cage and Copeland match was the best match of the night, in my view. I mean, like it had you very invested in it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you had the Mox and Kingston match, which was pretty good. But that match, I think, was the match of the night. Would you agree? Or?
I would put it up there because, like I said, you couldn't expect anything less from the two veterans. But once again, once they start going to the pyrotechnics, and once you start adding way too much to the matches, to me, it starts taking away from it. Little by little, you got to put the flaming tables in there, and then of course you're going to involve Nick Wayne's mom again, and which I know that's going to be probably the lead up to getting Beth Phoenix there. And
yep.
I don't know, it's I heard somebody mention that it's shades of WCW 2000, and I'm also going, yeah, and I can see that also TNA 06, 07, when they were about to, when they started getting that rush of former WWE talent going that way too. I can see that as well. It's just like I said, it was building up to be the better of the matches of the night until those elements kicked in.
Yeah, I mean, also the Wheeler Yuta versus Hook at the pre-show, to me, I don't understand how, if you're pushing Hook, this damn FTW title, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I like Hook, but you got this belt there for, I don't know how many years, right? 3-4 years since they brought it in. It's not a sanctioned damn belt, but you got the guy who has a non-sanctioned belt beat the Ring of Honor pure champion in that ring last night.
Right.
Wasn't that stupid to me? Now you got to give the guy, because he just beat your pure champion, now you got to give him a title shot.
I would have thought that would have been the easy match to put together anyway, give him the pure title match. You were already giving away fucking free minutes anyway. You could have given that 15 minutes to them to do in that match on the main event instead of giving Swerve and Goldust fucking 10. That was just ridiculous. Swerve should have squashed Goldust quick. It was a filler match anyway. But there was no need for it. Yeah.
I mean, that we're gonna get to it. But the one thing, and when the pay-per-view started, they had that 8-man all-star match, and me and you, the last time you was in my podcast, we talked about how AEW is doing New Japan booking, right? Now, the competitors in this 8-man all-star was all involved in the damn Intercontinental Classic, right?
Right.
And this pretty much shows you that that's exactly what Tony Khan is doing, because I mean, I don't know how much you follow the G1 when they have it, but when they have the G1 tournament during, let's say that night one, right? You have, I don't know, tier B or tier A is wrestling that night, but then tier B is off, so they're wrestling in tag teams, right? This is what they do. New Japan does that. The TRB will then be in a tag team, and they'll have 4 guys who are going to wrestle the other 4 guys the night after. This is exactly what we saw last night in this 8-man tag and whatnot. I think, and they were pushing, and they pushed Daniel Garcia, being that Daniel Garcia only had 1 win through the whole tournament. Plus,
I thought he didn't have any. I thought he lost every match.
He beat Brody King.
Oh, okay.
He beat Brody King the last match. And Jay Lethal gets pinned. What's your thought about that?
Yeah. First off, I would have thought that the easier circumstances to set them up in would have been put them in the teams that they were representing color by. Gold on one side and blue on the other. That would have been easy. That would have been the easiest thing to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't do that. They did a tall salad of that. And then the other aspect was, I was having a discussion with some lunkhead on one of the wrestling pages where I said, I wasn't upset with the tournament. I actually thought it was a really good an example of bringing that kind of style to the States. But I said it was, to me, like a couple of years too late, because now it just seems like a thirsty grab to get an audience, to get attention, and unfortunately that didn't happen. A person went back and forth with me. It was just like, that's how business runs. You can't just throw everything out at one time. I was like, why? What are you talking about? That's what he was doing in the first place, the first year with AEW. I said, then secondly, he's been following Japanese wrestling for some time. So he's already been borrowing from them for the longest anyway. So the tournament would have made logical sense, especially if it's an end of the year thing. Now, that would have been cool to do. Mm-hmm. But, what do I know? I mean, the person in question says, you wouldn't know anything like that if you had a job or something. I was like, oh, look at you trying to hurl some childish insults. So we're not doing this, sir. I was like, okay. But in any case, to go back to the formula, the formula was there. It was in his hands. He had it, but I don't think it was executed well.
I mean, and I'm glad you brought up the Continental Classic, because this is the way I was watching it on Wednesday. I say, well, you got the 3-way Swerve, Mox, and Jay White. Now you got Eddie Kingston and Bryan Danielson, right? Now I booked these fucking matches like the way I see New Japan wrestling, when I see AEW wrestlers there. Now, you remember the beginning of the year, it was Eddie Kingston who beat Jay White to ban him from New Japan wrestling. Mm-hmm. And that was in a New Japan Strong in February. I say, well, you know what? This will be perfect, because you got Jay White there. You get him to beat Swerve Strickland and Jon Moxley. Moxley did not need to win this fucking match, to be honest. And then you put him against Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston didn't have to retain these belts and whatnot, because the Ring of Honor right now, like you said the other day, they got a TV title, but they don't have a channel. They're on a fucking stream. So I figured, well, you could have a Jay White versus Eddie Kingston for the Triple Crown title at the end, at World's End, and then have Jay White win the Triple Crown and getting back, so then he could go back to Japan. And then maybe set up this whole fucking Bullet Club shit. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I think.
I saw what they did, and shout out to the boy Eddie, New York's own. Saying the people's. He did his thing, and honestly, this was just a build up for the 4 years that Eddie was eating shit for a while, and the crowd was backing him. The crowd was behind him for a long time, and this was his WrestleMania moment, per se, because he knows he's never going to have a WrestleMania moment. Mm-hmm. So this was his WrestleMania moment. He got to fulfill a dream, to be a Triple Crown winner. And shout out to him. But yeah, I don't see how this benefited anybody but him, because Moxley, like you said, shouldn't have been there. It's just loading the deck, because I'm telling you, this is a sinking ship right now, and they're doing everything they can do to plug up holes, and it's not looking good on anybody's part. Especially the fact that Swerve wasn't in a championship either. It's like, wow, you're gonna have to fucking fess up and very much show that you're gonna have to pay him off down the line one way or another with something, because that was a smack in the face as well.
Especially, I think was it Full Gear that he had that crazy match with Hangman.
Yeah, and even before that, he's been having a large momentum build up through the fan base and such. So it's I don't know. They probably making these backstage promises to him, because I wouldn't have been comfortable with that. As a matter of fact, after the match that he had with Dustin Runnels, you could tell that he wasn't happy on the stage either. Like, it looked like he was kind of peeved, and if you watch the scrum, he looked like he was kind of upset as well as there as well.
So yeah. He looked like he wasn't too happy, because this shit was an out of nowhere thing about Keith Lee talking about he was hurt. I'm like, how are they announcing that shit the night off the pay-per-view?
Well, Keith Lee was hurt, but then at the same time, he said he would have gone. That he still would have wrestled.
But why are they allowing these?
But I'm saying, Keith Lee being hurt, you didn't allow him to wrestle. Daniel Bryan got a broken orbital bone and has been wrestling with numbness in his arm for the whole tournament, and MJF has 3 separate injuries on his body, but you're letting them wrestle, but Keith Lee can't go. I don't understand that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, and then to top it off, the one thing I noticed is, if these guys are hurt, why are you allowing them to wrestle? Give them a week or two to break, and then, just if they got a storyline, then work around that storyline. Don't tell them, the guy said, yeah, I could wrestle, but then you had a situation last night that what we saw between Dustin Reynolds and Swerve was like a fucking a rampage match.
Yeah, for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
that match went probably 8.5 minutes, way too long.
They could have do, first of all, where's fucking Hangman Page? You know what I'm saying? You could have had him in there and say, okay, I'm stepping in for him for this match, whatever, regardless of what type of match you wanted to put it. You know what I'm saying? Then have Strickland beat him again. And then that's like the third match. It's already, decided that he's already beat him 3 times. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It's just like, it doesn't make any sense to me. And then continuing on, then it gets worse. And then before this match, the guys are even coming out. I'm reading Andrade is done with AEW. I'm like, wait a minute. Wasn't it? He said that he wanted to go to CMML. I think he's still going to CMML. Then he'll probably show up in WWE unless he shows up at the Rumble. But what is your thought on that? I mean, Andrade, they weren't doing shit with him. I mean, they didn't even put him in La Facción, but now he was one of the original ones back in the days.
I think they it's on two parties that they pretty much sandbagged themselves for this. When he got into the altercation with Sammy Guevara, that was one instance. I think that was just his way of also saying, you know what, I'm tired of this place. Like, I'm done. I want to get out. He wasn't able to get out the way other people were. So they held on to him, especially during that time when there was a lot of distractions going on. Destruction as well. So they just kept pushing him to the back. They gave him, he had the opportunity. He showcases his match worth when he had those matches with Daniel Bryan and such. I think he shows that he can still go. And I just saw the report that Tony Khan made about that it is confirmed that he's leaving. And we were looking to put him in a pivotal position in the main roster upcoming from here on out, but he was displeased of what his situation was and was happy to be released. And I'm like, now this is what you're gonna say? This kid has got a lot of problems in his hand dealing with this freaking company. He's got a lot of problems.
Fucking reset, bro. Reset everything.
Reset, but then reset to do what? Because with all that's on the table, it's all in line, and so many of these individuals. Look, at the end of the day, like we've been saying, that roster's packed. You still got a lot of shaving to do on that side to get a lot of that roster off. And Andrade just leaving. I mean, I can hear what you said with him going to CMML for a minute and then going to popping up at the Rumble. That'll be cool. I would like to see him get involved with that whole LWO Liga de Fantasma kind of thing, or maybe do something else. That's cool. But it's going to show you that AEW is not the promised land that people thought it was going to be, man. It's not.
It's crazy because not only that,
It was the battle of two people who wants to leave the company and the losers leaving.
The battle royal also caught me off guard because now I'm sure you saw this. Didn't Butch and the Blade leave the fucking company?
Yeah.
What the fuck were they doing in the battle royal last night? You know
hired help.
Help me! I need a tag team in here.
Hired help.
So that because I didn't even see the crazy thing is you had this tag team, whatever. You didn't see Pentagon in there. You didn't see Ray Phoenix. All these motherfuckers hurt. What the fuck?
Hurt. Visas. Who the fuck knows these days?
Yeah. So I mean that Andrade's thing. Once I saw that, I already knew that he was gonna that he was gonna lose. I mean, and then the way they did this match, they didn't put no fucking storyline behind it. It was just, let's put it there. He's done with the classic. Let's put him against Miro. No storyline behind it, unless they already knew that he was going to leave.
Yeah, that and we didn't see that coming, right? CJ Perry was going to actually not help her husband.
I mean, I'm gonna be that dumbass that probably didn't see it coming because, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I thought that it was going to be there was going to be some type of feud between those two, but not just a one match and over with. You know what I'm saying? They had to do it that way last night because he was leaving, so there was no other option. For her just to turn on him.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that if she was going to turn on him, it would probably be like some crazy match that they'll have, like I don't know, match count anywhere. You know how the AEW is,
Right.
But they had to do it that way. So now the next match they had was the Sting Jericho. Who else? I think who the fuck was in that tag team? It was Sting Jericho, Sammy Guevara. Anyway, so you saw that the people were booing. I mean, when he came out, I was trying to listen to see people were booing him while he came out. People were still singing along, whatever. Now, here's the crazy part. So, okay, I'm not even gonna talk about the match. The winners of that match, and I believe was Sammy Guevara pinned Tony Starks or Ricky Starks. I call him Tony Starks. Ricky Starks. Now, are they still going to call themselves the Sex Gods after what we've been hearing?
Please, first of all, with the this likely pairing that occurred of these two
Out of nowhere.
I mean, look, they had to scratch and scramble to do something after Omega went down with diverticulitis. I mean, it was gonna they had to do something. But this Sammy whole spiel back and forth, love, this too.
That's what remind you of Big Show.
It does, and it's too it's too womanly for me. It's too feminine for me. We got to be friends. You're gonna be my friend again. We're gonna be friends. We're buddies. Yeah, it's like, come on, guys. Is there another way to who writes it? Like who writes it? This could.
I don't think they write. I think they get in the back and they just talk about we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that. Because I don't think they have a writing team.
No, I don't know. I think this is like a subliminal thing or a psychological thing with Tony Khan that he has friends issues as well. Shit, that's one. Secondly, I thought this match was actually on the worst part of the card. I would have actually put this at the start of the show so you can get it out the way.
Mm-hmm.
People were just waiting to fucking boo and put up their signs and shit. Whenever Jericho got in the ring and the heels were giving them shit, the crowd was loving it. So if you would have just put it at the open of the show, you'd have got it out the way and then move forward and didn't have to deal with it.
But now it's gonna be more of a clusterfuck, and I'm gonna say that because now you just had Sammy Guevara pin Ricky Starks, and now you're gonna have the so-called, they're gonna call most likely, if they don't call themselves the Sex God, it's because Tony Khan knows that this fool Jericho is involved in some fucking sexual harassment shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't see if he comes out with this the Sex Gods, I'm gonna be like, yo, this that they put in there, big balls, bro. You know what I'm
Now,
saying?
if he does do it, it's because they think it's gonna be funny to lean into these allegations, that they're
Mhm.
gonna lean into it and play it up and such. But um, this isn't the '90s, bro, and like this day and age, it's as much as you could say whatever about the wrestling the wrestling
Community.
fandom and such, the fandoms,
Mhm.
you know, there's certain things that they're too smart about. And um this could turn real ugly really fucking quick.
Well, I mean, it's already turning ugly. I mean, and it's funny because I wanted to talk about this after the review, but since we're already on the Jericho subject, do you believe any of the allegations, accusations that this Nick Houseman came out of nowhere, bringing shit up with supposedly Jericho? Jericho went up to Kylie Ray, and I guess he made some advances to her. And I know for a fact that Kylie Ray left AEW, but she did the same thing she did in AEW. She did it in TNA, and then WWE even said it that when she did her tryout, she has some mental issues. So the fact that they're choosing to say it was Kylie Ray, that's to me, that's why I feel like it's bullshit, because I think they're just going after him after what he did at Christmas Day with the CM Punk lawyer. That's just my opinion. And what's your thought about that?
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I was gonna say that it's piggybacking off of his rant, his ridiculous rant on Christmas. And with Punk gone, and the EVPs looking like they're not gonna
Coming
be
back.
stable or possibly in that position as. But no, I think did they recently sign contracts again
Yeah,
for.
yeah. The Young Bucks,
Yeah.
are still there for another 5 years. But
Yeah,
the fact that the wife,
yeah,
Dana, whatever her name, left.
yeah.
So I guess
And not only that, you got a lot of other VVPs or people up higher ups who left. QT Marshall's gone. That kid Kevin Sullivan is gone. Now
what was
Matt
that, Rafael
Jackson.
Maris, some shit like that.
Yeah, they're gone. It's like so, and they're the lawyer that was Tony Khan's right hand. She was moved. Now she's somewhere else because apparently she had allegations on her as well. So like, it's getting funky over there. And Chris was lining himself up to get in position so he could get himself a nice little a rundown to Tony's office, so he could get himself a little desk right next to him, so he could be the next in line to be an EVP or something like that. But now that opened up the door with the nonsense that he's going back and forth with Stephen P. New, and then it just opened up the door to ugliness. And this is what I'm saying, like, because he said he doesn't have any NDAs. So now that just opened up the door for allegations. We're like, oh, really? You don't have any NDAs? Okay, cool, no problem.
Yep.
And sometimes with people that got skeletons in a closet, make sure that you clean the bones off and the fucking graveyard around it before you start opening doors and shit, because you don't know what can fly out of that motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Do I believe the allegations? I don't know. I'm not there for it. And yeah, Kylie Ray, she's have issues. She has she deals with bouts of depression. She left TNA because Impact because of it. Same thing with WWE. But at the same time, you don't like, and she didn't say anything. It wasn't her who said anything. Other people made the mention. All she did was add a heart emoji to the the post or comment that someone made about it. But it's not until other people start coming out and open the door. Look, for me, from what we've seen in the past couple of years, and like I said, it's not my business, it's theirs, but it seems as though that Jericho has like this open relationship with his wife, because you've seen him kissing up on other women, and it's been told that he's been shacking up and hooking up with other people and such like that. So that he might have that ability, but the allegations here is that like he's doing the casting couch shit. I don't know. I don't know. Until I hear more about it, I can't really call it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I'm like, the sources that it's coming from, I'm like, half of these fucking guys are not even reliable. They're just doing it for clicks, and that's that's why I say now to like someone that I know that has fucking evidence and report, then I'll be like, okay, and it happened, was it 2020, 2021, where the speak out movement. Come on, these fucking wrestlers should know better. You know what I'm saying? Because you will get canceled. Ask David Starr. That boy had to leave wrestling for good, and he was a great talent.
Yeah, but this is once again, and this is not anything new. This is in every facet of industry that's occurring that this happens. That women are going to be preyed upon or whatever. And at the same time, we've heard stories where the allegations were false, where they were just made up just to or the men were cleared because vindictive women. That's part of it as well. So until we get the full story about it, it's like you can't really call it.
It's funny because I saw some posts on Twitter with a chick talking about they still allowing Chris Jericho to come out, and he's a dirtbag, whatever. You go to her page, she got an OnlyFans page. I have to fucking laugh. I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, come on, man, are you fucking serious? I think we probably pretty much covered the. Did we? Yeah.
No, we still got the main event.
The Julia Hart versus Abaddon, that match was like, nah, all that. We already spoke about the Copeland and Christian match. And the MJF, let's talk about that, the MJF match. The match was pretty good to the fucking end. The way it ended. I was like, yo, that's it? Like, I expected something either Adam Cole costing MJF his title and whatnot. And it seems like you had Samoa Joe as being part of the Devil's group, and then he just beat MJF, and then he leaves the ring, and then the Devil guys come out. Did you like the ending, and did you like the way they revealed the Devil? I mean, we all knew it was going to be fucking Adam Cole, but one guy that surprises me that he was there was Warlow, and I was talking to your boy Mike yesterday, and he said that they were giving hints. I didn't get the hints. Maybe I probably a little slow or whatever, but he sounded like he was going to be his own man. And I think the last time he was in there, we were talking about the group that he was in. It was the Pinnacle. So I figured that was the rumor. Now, did you like the way the match ended, and did you like the way it was revealed?
First of all, what pissed me off about this whole shit was Tony Khan sitting there in pre-interviews talking about the Devil is not Samoa Joe. But no, why are you sitting here like involved in this? If you knew there's somebody terrorizing your roster, call the police and get rid of them, stupid. You're not supposed to know who the fuck it is. Shut up. Play along with the fucking game, you ass. Jesus.
I didn't know he said that.
I make it clear that it's not Samoa Joe. Oh, thanks for the fucking the update, fucking weirdo. Did you see him sitting there at the scrum? You saw him sitting in the scrum looking like a fucking microphone with that hat on his head?
Yeah, and then he had the sunglasses. I was, what the fuck is this?
Somebody said that he looks like, what's his name? Baxter Stockman from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and shit.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah,
that's one. Secondly, the most obvious choice was it was gonna be Cole. Everybody fucking knew that. I actually liked what the guys that at the Ring Fanatics had said, that it should have been Britt Baker. I would have actually that would have been a shocker out the ass. I thought that would have been cool. It would have extended the storyline. It would have made it seem as though that MJF and Cole now have to really fight, because he has to make the decision of to be friends with him or stick with his fiance, his wife, whatever the fuck she is to him these days. So that would have made more sense. But yeah, it was just a bleh. No,
was you surprised to see Warlow in there though? Because I wasn't expecting Warlow to be part of that.
No, I saw some of the hints. They had him in fucking attacking him in the boots that he wears. Like, you saw the boots. They couldn't even be creative enough to put him in Tim's or some shit like that. Jesus, he had the same wrestling boots on. And then, and then there was that picture a while ago where them when they were sitting in the back after or when they won the ROH titles, where the Devil's Mask was sitting there behind them. Oh, so it's like
it was obvious. It was that part. It was obvious, but
like, come on.
Everybody was like, "Oh!" At first, when like I say, when Jay White got attacked, I say, "Okay." Again, my mind played like Booker. Like I'm like, "Okay, this is the possibility. This is what I would do." I figured, well, David Finley's coming with fucking Bullet Club War Dogs and gonna get even with the Bullet Club Gold and whatnot. But once I saw Jay White going after MJF and all that, I said, okay, I'm still going with Adam Cole. I mean, you have some idiots talking about it was going to be CM Punk when the guy got fired. But anyway, I digress. But I mean, Warlow, I mean, probably maybe like Mike told me, maybe I didn't catch the hints or whatever. I thought he was just going to be coming after him separately, you know? But now the question is, now what? You know, are they going to feud now with Bullet Club Gold? Because, I mean, they did attack Jay White. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, but then again, Bullet Club is down. They got down one man because this guy's out probably for the whole rest of the year. What's his name? Oh my God, Juice Robinson.
Juice Robinson.
So, you know, but I mean, I was like, okay, now what? That's the question. What do you think is going to happen after this? They're gonna be terrorizing the fucking roster.
Well, this goes to show you now that MJF is he's definitely signed to AEW. He's not going anywhere.
You think he's signed?
Yeah, I think it's
even after the Sport Illustrated interview, he said he wasn't.
Nah, I think it's bullshit. He's not going anywhere. He's not going to go anywhere.
Because I think it was you online that said that it was that was how you call it, kayfabe. Was it you?
Yeah. He's working it. This shit is already done. Like, honestly, and it's not a bad thing. I've been saying it for the longest. He's scared to go to WWE.
Mm-hmm.
It's not his time yet. He's still young. He can still build as a wrestler. He's shown that he could work. He's got the easiest fucking. You talk about Roman schedule. Jesus fucking Christ. MJF got an easy fucking schedule too. He wrestles maybe once a month. Like, he doesn't really do shit. So he's good. They let him just come out, talk his shit, and then leave. So
I think the whole roster only wrestles once a week.
Yeah, he doesn't even wrestle once a week. He barely does that. So
once a month.
He's got a good gig, so he's fine with that. And now with this whole devil shit out of the way, it's another 6-month build up for their match. And guess what? The people who are supposed to be contending for that title, whoops, they're not gonna get their fucking chance now. Swerve Strickland, there goes your motherfucking title opportunity. Good luck going after that Continental title or the fucking international belt, whatever the fuck it is. Go for those belts, because you're not going for the big cheese now against Samoa Joe.
You don't think he's gonna wrestle Samoa Joe in any time in the next 3 months?
Who, Swerve?
Yeah,
he ain't gonna win it.
Who's gonna? I mean, who? Okay, so let me ask you this question: who do you think could be Samoa Joe as the world champion? They're gonna probably
find a way to give the Cole the belt. They're gonna bounce it back. They're gonna give it to him.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's gonna be the return, and MJF comes back to fight for his belt, and blah blah blah. Once again, Joe's gonna be holding that belt as a placeholder for a second. It's a paperweight when Joe holds it. He's another one secretly and quietly. Although I think that he's probably getting a little bit more of flexibility with what he does and the ability to do certain things there. He's another one that's waiting for his time to come, because I think he's ready to get the fuck out too. Yeah. I think he had a sweet time at NXT when he was back there being part of creative and doing a lot of stuff over there. He enjoyed that. So I don't see him wrestling for too long and wanting to do shit where it has to do with AEW. I think he actually enjoyed his time at NXT and is ready to go back.
But Samoa Joe has, I mean, not for nothing, but he has gotten, I think, he hasn't gotten treated like shit in there. I mean, even though the Ring of Honor TV title, I mean, he had it for a while, but again, he used to come. He had both TNT belts at one point. I mean, he hasn't been booked bad at all. I just figured like he should have beat MJF the first time and whatnot, but it is what it is. But I mean, I had a feeling once he dropped that Ring of Honor TV title, I'm like, if he's dropping the belt, I mean, he's going to be MJF. But I just want to know how they were going to do it. You know?
No, like I said, it wasn't that he's being booked bad. I just think that like his time is coming. Joe's been already doing it for this long. He's had some nagging injuries and stuff.
Are you talking about retirement?
Possibly, yeah. I don't think he has it. He's gonna have too much in him anymore to be doing this. got some nagging injuries. They gave him the look out there, and honestly, he's just gonna be there as a placeholder because he's fine with that. This is a vet. This guy's been doing it for so many years. Like he's accustomed to doing certain things, doing business. He's learned. He's a student of the game. So right now, until Tony gives him a promise that he'll be able to be part of a creative standpoint or producing or something like that,
or EVP,
or maybe that. If that doesn't occur, I think he'd be ready to go back with fucking Punk and William Regal to do some shit somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, the last thing we're gonna talk about is Mercedes Mone. Now, again, there was so many rumors going around where Mercedes Mone was gonna go. There was rumors talking about that she was upset because she wanted more money. She wanted to go to WWE. That's what she was asking for, a higher price. And now it looks like talks with her and WWE broke off and whatnot. Where do you see her at and whatnot? I think she's going to end up at TNA because pretty much Scott D'Amore kind of announced it and said the hottest free agent out there, the only hottest free agent right now is her. I mean, do you see her in TNA? But if she goes to TNA, it's just going to be just let me soak my feet in water and then maybe try to negotiate again with WWE. So
this is funny because the thought was that she wanted the Charlotte Flair money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They weren't going to give us Charlotte Flair money. You left the company. Whatever terms you left the company. Whether people agreed or disagreed, whatever. You left the company. Charlotte had been loyal and stayed with the company through thick and thin. And she elevated that women's division. Not to say that Sasha or Monet didn't do that as well, but she stayed. Same could be said about Becky. Same could be said about Bayley. So on and so on. You left. You went to test the waters elsewhere to see where the money was at. Where are you gonna go? You tried your hand here. You went to Japan. You worked somewhere else. You got injured. You got hurt. You're like a fucking. You're like a thoroughbred horse now. You got hurt. You're lucky they didn't fucking shoot you in the back and put you to sleep. You were injured. Now you're coming back and you want more money. I'm not mad at you. Shoot your shot. Go for your goals. Go get it. Apparently, that's not going to happen. But we don't know because WWE's been playing really well with social media too. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah. We thought we were going to see CM Punk.
Yeah. So
that's WWE, and then because it doesn't, to me, it doesn't make no sense. If let's say like I said, Scott D'Amore made that announcement, we got the biggest free agent, whatever. And my thing is, if she does go to TNA, and I'm saying to myself, okay, TNA has a good group of women out there that could wrestle, whatever. I mean, Deonna Purrazzo is out the door already. And I'm saying to myself, if she really wants to stay there because of Trinity, because I mean, Trinity is the champion over there. I still think she's the champion. But, excuse me. But if she's just going to be there for just, I mean, are they going to give her all this money, all their money into her? I mean, TNA is not a type of company that how you call it? They thrive on the woman wrestling alone.
So let's say Charlotte gets in her contract is a $10 million contract, right?
Yeah.
TNA got $10 million. I
don't even think they ain't gotten even $7.
I don't even think they got $10. You keep fucking around.
Well, no, because there was rumors going around that they were working with TKO getting a streaming thing.
Right, but that's one thing. That's one that's something that's a buildup.
Don't TKO got to give them money for the TV rights?
If anything, that it's a buildup for that. You have to you have to get a build for that to go on. That's one.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, you're gonna go to a promotion like TNA where you're gonna be viewed by an audience of one. I mean, you can't. Nobody's watching it. Do you think that? You think you're gonna be that much of a, pardon the expression, impact to bring eyes to the product by you showing up? Listen, I get a lot of shit for it, and you know what? Whatever the case may be. But once again,
we don't like women wrestling. Remember?
Women wrestling, like you're a woman's wrestler. Like there's not going to be a lot of eyes on the prize over there. Your best shot would to be in AEW. That's your better shot. Tony could give you the money. She's already apparently made trademarks of certain catchphrases, which is fine. So that's going to be the selling point over there. The only thing that I wondered is if she went to WWE and said, "I'll come back for this, but I want to keep the name that I got." I wonder if that's what she she had already been building trademarks on the ones that she had
On the
on the one
Mercedes
that she
Monet.
has now. Yeah. I wonder if and they was like, absolutely not. We're not gonna do that. No.
Yeah, because they already got Sasha Banks.
Right.
Why would they go and trademark now Mercedes Monet or let her come in? I mean, Cody Rhodes was able to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because he had his own shit. And I read that Cody Rhodes made it clear to Vince McMahon, I'm not changing my theme. If you're changing it, then there's no deal. You know?
I thought
she tried to do that also, and they were like, nah.
Yeah, Cody, Sasha, Monet.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying, because I think she figured, I went outside of WWE, and I went and I won the IWGP Women's title.
You and six other people knew that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The IWGP belt. I mean, and then it's not really. They just started that belt when Kairi Sane was the first champion, and they just brought it in Stardom. So, I mean, if you, taking the ride in the boat with that you won the New Japan Women's title, and you think you deserve all this, I mean, that doesn't cut it, because you should have went in and tried to deal with AEW, and then who knows.
Listen, like I said, get the bag, girl, do what you can. But I think she's really feeling herself a little bit too much. And not realizing like the one behind you that's coming up in the rear, that's gonna be the one that's gonna get that bag is gonna be Julia. Julia's the one that's gonna get that bag.
Yeah.
She's already getting more eyes on the product of herself without even being seen in the States a lot. So like, that's the one that's the one that she needs to be careful of. But the other thing that you mentioned before the mics went on was the I believe there was footage going around of possibly AJ Lee working out and going into training and stuff. And now there's leaks of, not leaks, but stories of her
coming
how
back.
she got her name, where it came, or where her name came from, like WWE stories. I'm gonna be honest with you. If she comes back, I think she would get a bigger pop if Sasha came back.
Let me tell you something. AJ Lee, I mean, that girl carried the Diva division for a while. Yeah, Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis, those assholes back then, they didn't give a rat's ass about the women's division. Now, AJ Lee, if she comes back, I think you're right. She's probably going to get a bigger push, and then they're going to be like, well, first of all, look at her husband, CM Punk. You think people are not gonna buy her merchandise and not gonna go be behind her?
Loved. She was loved even during the time of like the Bellas and shit.
Yeah,
she was, if not outselling them, she was probably at the same watermark for them when it came to merchandise sales. She was loved. They loved the gimmick. They loved it, and but she could wrestle. Wow, who knew she could actually freaking wrestle?
And the bugged out part is that the gimmick she had is actually what she went through in real life. Because I bought the book for my daughter. My daughter was she still is an AJ Lee fan. I bought her that butterfly title belt that she used to, and I read a little bit of her story. That girl had mental issues, but she used it to her ability in that wrestling ring. And she comes back, man. That'd be big. I'll definitely be checking her out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, listen, and look, and look. Now with that Puerto Rican push now that's happening now, that Latino push that's happening now, boy, don't be surprised. It happens. It happens.
Speaking about the Puerto Rican push, do you still see Damian Priest cashing in Royal Rumble?
I see it on Monday.
You see it this Monday?
I see it this Monday.
Who is Seth Rollins wrestling?
Supposed to be Drew McIntyre.
Oh, that's right. Oh, this is day one, right?
Oh, yeah.
Ah, interesting. I don't got to go to work the next day, so I can stay up and watch that.
I don't have to go to work. I don't have to go to work. Yeah, no. Yeah, I see it happening soon enough, and it's the big build up for the Punk Seth rivalry.
So you telling me, because I was having a back and forth with this other podcast.
They've been boosting this day one thing. They haven't done this in a long, like in a while.
No, it's been a while.
They really got to do something. Usually at the end of the year, they do something big. Sometimes there's a title change at a live show. Sometimes it's which, by the way, I heard both live shows from the Garden
in LA.
And LA. My brother was in the one in LA, and he said it was packed to the gills. Like it was insanely packed. And it was like, he said it was like if he was at a Raw or something. It was crazy. Wow. Yeah. So they even got a steel cage match that night too. So the possibility of something major happening at a live show, meaning like at Raw or SmackDown, is high because it's usually done at the last show of the year, and they didn't do that this year because they had the review shows this year.
Yeah.
Shout out to WWE for giving the wrestlers the time off, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's about time. Shit. I mean, these guys working 360 days in one night and they don't get time off. So, you know, and shout out to Seth Rollins because my man 55 title defenses.
Yeah.
I gotta give him respect, especially with that bad back. So, you know. I mean, so we're gonna wrap it up real quick. I mean, to me, I'm gonna give you a real quick of 2024 what I see happening with AEW and WWE. WWE, I mean, they're gonna get bigger, bro. That machine right now is a fucking unstoppable. Then they gotta do a little better when it comes to fucking Raw and SmackDown. I mean, shows, but I like
Kevin Dunn just he just retired. So Kevin Dunn is done. Goodbye, Beaver Boy.
Beaver Boy, exactly. So this is that machine is not going anywhere. Now Tony Khan really is gonna be fucking stressed out. And when it comes to AEW, Tony Khan needs to stop fucking worrying about WWE. You're not gonna catch up to them. You're gonna be number 2. Unless there's a lightning strike that something happens and WWE goes through the same shit it went back in 94 and 95. That's the only way AEW is going to increase. Other than that, he needs to reset the whole fucking company and whatnot. And I think with all these free agents coming out, it's going to be very interesting in the next couple of months.
Yeah, I see the free agent market actually being fun. I wish that they could do like real sports where they could trade. I would love to see trades happen. That'll be cool. Or at least let me borrow a player like they do in soccer. You could borrow a player for a little bit in the Euro leagues and stuff like that. But yeah, the free agent market is going to be very interesting now that a lot of people. So shout out to like Mustafa Ali. That motherfucker said, "I ain't playing." He went and took some bookings, boy.
That boy. You see his body, bro? That little man thing ain't steroids, you know?
Yeah. Oh, listen. They was like, "Oh, well, no wellness policy. Give me that jaw. Hold it. Let me hold this down. Give me that jaw. I'm gonna get that creatine.
That shit like Tic Tacs.
I'm gonna get that creatine in me, boy. You crazy?"
Jack.
That's what I've never been really more excited for a free agent market until like this year, because now it's more of I'm not dumping people. Now it's their contract is up. Let's just see what's gonna happen and let it flow. You know, I want to see on both sides, even 3 sides, if TNA could get into that action. And shout out to them too, man. I want to see them strive too. I'm gonna do my best this year to put a little bit more emphasis on trying to find them and do some more viewing of their show, because it's not bad wrestling. I always said it's like a video game sometimes with them. You could just pick up and play where you left off at, and you can pick up and watch them whenever it is.
Yeah, I think with TNA, the problem with them is they build a nice little storyline, and then once it's finished, then the whole damn rest of the month is boring. They got too many pay-per-views and whatnot. They do one every month. And you gotta, I mean, first of all, you gotta keep your damn talent. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. They can't keep their talent. And I understand that, it's about money, but you gotta keep your talent, because how are you gonna compete in the wrestling business with an AEW or WWE? I mean, even though you can't right now because you're not there, but be number 3. If you're good with being number 2, keep your talent, man. You got time to do all that. I mean, I'm just hoping for better wrestling, and all this nonsense with all these fans hoping AEW goes out of business. Listen, as long as these wrestlers have a job, that's all I care about.
That's the same thing. Yeah, that's all.
That thing about you wishing a company go under, that's just stupid. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, this is it for me, bro. And thank you again, Jay, for coming through. let everybody know where they could reach you, all your social outlets, and all that good stuff.
Make sure you check us out all the podcasting outlets. You get us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeart. Soon on, well, no, actually, no, we're there already on YouTube Music. We're on there. Shit, I just realized that we're on there. Yo, matter of fact, we're everywhere.
What, YouTube Music?
Yeah, YouTube Music. They got
I
podcasts.
didn't know that. I didn't know that. Hold up, see, I gotta be looking for that.
Yeah, we're on there as well. So make sure you check us out on all those podcasting outlets. Also check out our socials. Look up Turnbuckle Tabloid or at Turnbuckle Tab. We're everywhere. Follow, subscribe, be a part of the vibe, and always shout out to the Rageworks family. Check out rageworks.net and rageworksnetwork.com for all your podcasting and your geekdom needs. We fulfill that and much more. And as always, big love to our boy at the Chokeslam Wrestling Report, our boy Henry, man. Shout out to him, man.
All right, I appreciate that, man. You guys can follow me also on all social media outlets: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can check out my YouTube channel. Of course, check out all the contents I have there. And whatnot, check out my podcast store, tcwr.veryimpressive.com, tcwr.veryimpressive.com. Hopefully next year, I mean, all I ask, I give you a lot of blessing on your podcast, my brother. And of course, you're always welcome. I want to keep doing more of this stuff with you because, I mean, it's entertaining. A lot of people love our stuff, bro. So we got to keep doing this, bro. You know what I'm saying? Probably once a month at least. You know what I'm saying?
I'm always with it. I'm with that shit. I'm always with the smoke. I'm good. And you actually called me on the time before I had a couple of beers, so I'm gonna go rest up and then bring in the new year. So we actually go.
Yeah, that's why I said I gotta get you before you start hitting the grandpa's off cough medicine. So.
You already know. But once again, much love, man. Thanks for you guys for listening, man. You guys are awesome.
Yes. Till then, guys, I'll see you guys very soon. I'll see you next year. New intro, everything new. Until then, the top guys are out.